What the hell is your delay, Captain?
We're waiting, sir.
Waiting for what?
Private Doss.
Who the hell is Private Doss?
Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing Hacksaw Ridge, a true story based on a real-life hero from World War II, Desmond Doss. Desmond Doss is known to have saved 75 people in battle because they were injured or wounded, and he was able to save them without ever picking up a rifle or a gun. And this is a very interesting story that we're going to be discussing about this movie. But first we're going to go into a little bit of a content review before we go into my personal thoughts.
I can't stay here while all them go fight for me.
Don't you figure this war is just going to fit in with your ideas?
While everybody else is taking life, I'm gonna be saving it. And that's gonna be my way to serve.
So this film is rated R. I'm just going to preface this content review, which means that only 18 and above should really watch this film. It can get very violent and dark at times. For violence content, it's a wartime movie, so you have a lot of wartime type of violence where you see a lot of blood. You see people shot in the head, shot in other parts of their body. You see knives, people's heads cut off, and just explosions in general. You also see a lot of dead bodies, people without arms, without legs, without like heads. It's disgusting. So it literally makes the feeling of a horror movie just with the violence alone. And that's really the darkest part of this movie that gets its R rating. It isn't the other parts. As well as if you go into sexual content, you see a bare naked man who thinks that his body is like one of this crazy thing. They call the guy Hollywood. You see his backside in one scene, but you do not see any frontal nudity. Some of the men in the army have magazines that have women in them. Of course, they are dressed immodestly, the women, but you don't see any of that in the film, but it is implied. You also see a few people kiss in the movie. If you go over to drug and alcohol content, there is some smoking, and one person is an alcoholic that has come out of the war, and he beats his wife and his kids, so you have that in there that you need to consider. And if you go over the language content, the D, H, and SOB are all used a couple of times as well. The thing about this movie and the content review that I just overall prefaces it, it's a wartime film. They didn't sugarcoat it. This is what war probably looks like. I can't speak from experience, but it does look really realistic, and they didn't try to sugarcoat it at all. So very strong warning if that kind of thing is not your type of movie to watch. Now we're going to go into my portion of the review where I'm going to go into my thoughts about the film. So if you have not seen the movie yet and you're going to see it, be warned there's going to be spoilers in this next section.
Private Doss does not believe in violence. Do not look to him to save you on the battlefield.
I don't think this is a question of religion. I think this is cowardice.
Alright, so I wanted to just preface with Andrew Garfield did an amazing job as playing Desmond Doss. He did a great job acting. I really enjoyed watching this film with him portraying it. The film basically starts with the first 30 minutes being kind of about Desmond Doss and how he grew up. You see him fall in love with a woman that he really likes, and he plans to marry her. And however, as soon as he's about getting ready to marry her, he decides he needs to go and enlist because he sees all the men that are his age around him are going to serve their country.
I can't stay here while all them go fight for me.
And I think that it's a really great thing that Desmond looks and sees that and he wants to go serve as well. Even though he's got a really good, he realizes other people don't, and he doesn't want it to be unfair to all the people that are serving while he just gets to live a nice life back at home. So he wants to go and serve. But there's one complication about Desmond Doss that you don't see coming, is he is a Christian. And as a Christian, he does not believe in killing because in the Bible it says, "Thou shalt not murder." Therefore, Desmond Doss refuses to pick up a rifle because he believes that that is a sin.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant. I can't touch a gun.
You don't kill.
No, sir.
You know, quite a bit of killing does occur in war.
Now, of course, he enlists to go and serve in the military as a medic because he wants to be able to serve his country, but he also wants to comply with his religious beliefs. So he goes into the army, but however, the army drafts him into a combat unit which wants him to pick up a rifle. Throughout trial and trial again, we see Desmond Doss refuse to pick up the rifle, which is really commendable. He puts his religious beliefs above anything else. He doesn't let anyone else tell him what he needs to do over his beliefs. He gets beaten. He gets court-martialed. He gets pretty much everything thrown at him possible, and he never gives up. He wants to make it clear that he intends to follow his religious beliefs, and just because somebody else tells him to do something differently, he stays strong to his convictions, which is something I think that we all can learn from and take as an example for our convictions and standing firm with them and not letting other people tell us what we need to do. We need to stand with what we believe. So I really like that. And that's the first part of the movie. He basically just is constantly fighting, and eventually he wins, which is a really great thing. His father goes to the general and basically tells him, look, my son just wants to fight as a medic, and he wants to be able to save lives. And he eventually wins his case, and he's able to go and serve.
I fell in love with you because you weren't like anyone else. You're saying you could go to prison.
But I don't know how I'm gonna live with myself if I don't stay true to what I believe.
So when he finally gets out to the battlefield, of course, war erupts, and he's trying to save people's lives, and he does a relatively good job. And however, as the film goes on, you see that the war gets worse. The Japanese are overcoming the United States forces, so the United States retreats. Of course, Desmond Doss is getting ready to retreat, but he starts hearing voices. He hears that there's still wounded out there, and he can't leave knowing that there are still people alive up there. So he starts to, one by one, go and grab them, and he's got to lower them off of this cliff. They're up on top of a ridge, so he's got to constantly be lowering them down with a rope, and he's got to, as he's lowering them down, he's got to bring them back up, and people are picking them up at the bottom, and he does this about 70 times, and he just keeps bringing more people that are wounded, and every time he brings one, he just say, okay, that's enough, I can go now and save myself. He just says, Lord, help me get one more life, save one more life. And he doesn't give up, and he keeps doing it.
Please, Lord, help me get one more. Help me get one more.
Well, eventually he finally escapes, and he gets back, and he's a hero. And of course he's injured, but he's a hero because he's risked so many people. And then he ends up, as soon as he gets back down, the military down there are like, we need to go back up there, but we want you to come with us because you're an inspiration for the army. Now, if I was Desmond Doss, I'd be like, are you kidding me? I just risked my life and saved so many people. I'm tired. I want a break, and I already been up there. I need to take a break. But no, Desmond Doss goes back up there again with the army to try to conquer the ridge, and he helps them. He keeps saving the wounded, and he puts others before himself, and to the point where he actually gets injured, and they lower him down the ridge and says, you get to go home now. And it's really nail biting to watch the movie and be like, is Desmond Doss going to survive? Because I haven't heard this true story before, so I was kind of interested to see if he actually made it. And at the end, yes, he does survive. The movie kind of cuts off when he's being lowered down the ridge. Basically, they conquered the ridge, and it's under United States control, and he's just being lowered because he's been injured. But he does survive. He does get to marry his fiancée, and he's able to live a life with her. And he lived until about 2006, and then he died. But it was really good. It almost felt like too good to be true, to be a true story. I mean, a few of the details were changed, but it was really great to be able to see such heroics in a man that was willing to put others before himself and stand by his beliefs. And I think that just was a really great film. I think that overall it had an amazing lesson. I would give it a 7 out of 10 as a movie. And the only reason it doesn't get a 10 out of 10 is because it's got a lot of violent content and other like sexual suggestive content. I understand that was in there for realistic purposes. So don't take the 7 out of 10 as the movie was bad. Just take it as there's some content in it you need to consider. Overall, I think that this was a great movie, and if you are interested in learning more about Desmond Doss, you can watch the film and then look up about him. Just kind of learn more about him and his heroic effort. It's the true story. And if you have any other movies that you guys would like me to check out, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, as it means a lot to us and it helps us make more videos like this. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.
Who did this?
That's the card.
With
have to go back up tomorrow. And they're not gonna go up there without you.